Hi, I'm Yakamari from the Herald, and for Wisdom Wednesday, we are visiting Rosa van Niekerk attorneys in Westonaria. Tomorrow is Human Rights Day, so we are here to find out what our basic human rights are. Welcome.
Good morning audience. My name is Rosa van Niekerk of Rosa van Niekerk attorneys here in Westonaria. I have been a practicing attorney for the past 16 years, and I've also successfully completed the course for aspirant candidate judges for the High Court and the Appeal Court of South Africa. So I am here today to tell you what is your basic human rights. Human Rights Day is tomorrow, the 21st of March 2019. And human rights came from America and it blew over to South Africa, which is absolutely wonderful for us. So in the form of the Constitution, Chapter 2, it says that we have a Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights is here to protect all of South African citizens, which is amazing because we are actually a rainbow nation at this stage. Myself being my mum Italian and my father Afrikaans, I always joke and say that I'm a boerewors pasta. So being a boerewors pasta, I'm part of the rainbow nation, which is part of Chapter 2 of the Constitution of South Africa. It protects all South African citizens, and it protects us in part of race, gender and social orientation. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is the most important human right and how does it get violated? How does it get violated? The Bill of Rights protects a lot of our human rights against discrimination. Discrimination is something that is on the forefront of everything in South Africa right now. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Absolutely. So let me explain to you what is your right. How can you not be discriminated against? So you cannot be discriminated against upon race, gender and sex, pregnancy, marital status. Then you have social religion. So that is the freedom to be part of any church that you want to be. Your color, your sexual orientation. And on sexual orientation, it's actually amazing to know as an attorney that our legislation and our constitution is one of the youngest constitutions that actually fights for the LGBT community. So that is the lesbians, the gays, everybody that falls under that category. So also it protects against age and then your religion, disability. Disability is also a big thing in South Africa. So in terms of Chapter 2 of our Constitution, which is from parts of the Bill of Rights, which is very extensive, you still have a few human rights that you probably don't know about. So I'm going to inform you of those rights. The first one is your right to citizenship and then also security. So that means that you have the right to be a South African citizenship by way of formal applications that you have to do. Your right of freedom of assembly, that is an interesting one. So that in the plain South African language and tongue-in-cheek is called toi-toi. Your right to toi-toi, under certain circumstances of course. Then you have your right to be free and not have any forced labor. Okay, you have your right to privacy and potential access that can be denied to any people that embraces that right. Your access to information. Then we have your right to freedom of movement. Now this is very olden days because when we had the Sharpeville massacre, the story and the history facts about it is the following. With the Sharpeville massacre, in the olden days, most of the people that lived in the rural areas, they were not allowed to have the ability and the freedom to come to any other area. So if they came to a populated area, then they had to get a pass. And there was a pass law by the previous government. And if they come from the rural area to a populated area, then they had to get that pass, and that pass had to be obtained within 27 hours. Or sorry, 72 hours, not 27. And for South Africans, it's really important, you guys, that we look back at the history to see where we came from. and also learn from that history to not repeat the same mistakes. And then it's also important to put it behind us and move forward as a nation to see how far we have come. So going back to all the other rights that you have, let's see what other rights you have. You have the right at the workplace to engage with a trade union. You have the right to purchase property everywhere. You have the right to basic education. Then you have the right to your language and your culture, which is very important because we have so many languages and so many cultures in our Rainbow Nation. Like I said, I mean, I'm a Boer pasta, so I've got 2 different types of cultures. And everybody has their own culture and their right to freely and lovingly do that. Not enforce your culture, but be and live your culture. So that's very, very important. Then you also have your freedom to religion. So whatever your religion is, South Africa is actually such an amazing country because we're one of the few countries that you still can be a Christian in. Or you can be whatever religion you want to be, and nobody is allowed to discriminate against you. Now there's a very specific topic that I'm feeling very passionate about, and that's women and children. Now the chapter 2 of our constitution, they also have specific rights for women and children. And I really, really want to embrace this. The rights for the women and children is amazing. Every child has the right to a name. They have the right to be named on a birth certificate. They have the right to live in a peaceful environment. They have the right to basic education. They have further rights to be in a safe community. And they have the right to enforce that if they don't have all of that basic education, water, food. And then the government has put structures in place that you can go to and that you can say, well, this is a problem with the child or the mother. So what happens if one of your rights gets violated? You can go to the police station and then you can lay a formal criminal charge, but you can also go to the Human Rights Commission, and the Human Rights Commission will investigate this matter.